We speak to you now, Light Tribe, about crystals. You are very attracted to crystals, are you not? In these times, crystal shops are like the candy shops of your younger years. And they are irresistible to you, not only for their beauty, but for their spiritual powers. We speak now not to inform you about the properties of one crystal or another, for there are many books written on this. There are encyclopedias written on the crystal properties, and you may consult these in order to discern the properties of your crystals, or you may tune into them yourselves in order to discern their purpose with you. We speak instead about the necessity to use crystals consciously now. Do not have a collection of crystals on your altar, or in your houses, or on your persons, without knowing the purpose of each crystal that you own. Trust that you are drawn to the correct crystals as you choose them and they shine their radiance out to you. Before acquiring these crystals, you must pick each one up. You must ask permission from the crystal being itself if it is willing to be used by you. You do not need to be able to channel in order to discern this. It is easy to get an affirmative or negative from a crystal. You may find that as you hold it, it moves towards or away from you. Sometimes you may feel within a crystal a great density, something which does not feel attractive, and nevertheless you are drawn to purchase it. This is sometimes simply that it needs clearing. There are some crystals which have been previously used for other purposes, and they need to be cleared. There are some crystals which have simply been sitting in that place, or have been collecting energy within a physical place on Gaia, and have absorbed so much pain and negativity from what has occurred in that place that they need neutralizing. So as you have first determined whether this crystal is to be used by you or not, and you take it to your place of abode, you then determine what kind of cleansing that crystal is in need of. The most common forms of cleansing are to bury a crystal within salt crystals, or to soak a crystal in a glass jar or container which contains pure water and salt crystals. It is also good to place them outside under the sun, moon, and stars for a certain period of time, and to recharge them each month at the time of the full moon. those crystals which have been used for other purposes must be negated or neutralized by burying them in the earth, and you can determine quite easily how many days is necessary to bury them in the earth simply by communicating with them. Some of you who watch this now do not believe that you can listen to a crystal, that a crystal can talk to you. We advise you to try this. We advise you to ask for a simple yes or no from a crystal regarding how it is to be cleansed, neutralized, and then charged. We speak of the different crystals which are available. Some crystals, such as this one, are in their natural form. The point which is seen is a natural point, rather than one which has been manufactured into that shape. This crystal, Lemurian in nature, is coded through its facets and therefore contains information which can be downloaded into your system by working with one such. But this is not for everyone. This is more appropriate for those of Lemurian ancestry who have a remembering within themselves about these crystal beings. There are some crystals which have been shaped. They have been shaped in a form of sacred geometry, such as a pyramid. The shaping of these crystals can amplify their power, particularly if they are made into the shape with conscious intent, so that those who have made them understand the sacred geometry of the pyramid or other such form. Even if they are made unconsciously, in a factory, so to speak, you can choose to use these crystals for a particular purpose within your meditations or healing, for they will hold the property of the sacred geometry which is encoded into them through their shaping, combined with the property of the crystal itself. And it is advisable that you understand the nature of the pyramid, the nature of the octahedron, the nature of a crystal skull. We speak of crystal skulls. This is not one of the ancient crystal skulls, which is spoken of in the return of the 13 skulls into the third dimension of Gaia. But these skulls have become popular, and for good reason. The skull, if formed in its correct geometry, has a portal-like nature. There is an entrance point into the skull which corresponds with the fontanelle of the physical human skull. This is an energetic entry point into the place of the pineal, the place of encoding, which brings enlightenment. Therefore, if worked with consciously, crystal skulls come closer to a human embodiment in crystal form as far as consciousness is concerned. Those of you who choose to be crystal skull keepers, and Solara Anra is not one of these, you must understand that it is possible to use the skull in an intelligent way in order to bring through information and not only energy. The skull is yours. You are the keeper of that skull, and it is not always advisable to pass these around freely. Sometimes it is advisable to work with the energies of your skull on your own until you understand the purpose of that crystal in your life. There are those crystals which are chosen to be worn. And if you wear a crystal such as this quartz point, you must know that the crystal is clear. You must work with the cleansing and charging of this crystal, and not wear it simply for adornment. This crystal holds the energy of the land from which it comes. This is always true. And sometimes the origin point of crystals will bring you into connection with that country or place of power. And this will bring remembering of your lifetime or lifetimes in that place. Crystals are amplifiers. They make things stronger. And this is why it is important to know the purpose of a crystal in your life, or to determine for yourself which purpose you would like to use it for. For otherwise may it not be amplifying something which is undesirable in your life. And so this is the final and most important step that we wish to speak of. It is regarding the charging of crystals. Charging a crystal involves placing your intention into that crystal being, radiating your intention with its permission into its geometry, into its cells, so to speak. This crystal of Solara Anra's was gifted to her by one of her light tribe in Mexico. It is charged with a love frequency and shaped as it is into a heart. This is obvious, is it not? But as she came to this crystal, as it was gifted to her, she asked if this crystal was for her or not. For sometimes it is her practice to pass a crystal which is gifted to her straight on to another for whom it is more relevant. But it was told to her that this crystal, like many of the hearts which are available, is seeded with a unity consciousness within its very center. And as it was worked with a light tribe in Palenque, so it was further charged, and now further charged still, through the work in Peru and Bolivia.